Well, while Cyclone Alfred is the priority news event here, New Zealand has dramas of its own. Yesterday, its Reserve Bank Governor, Adrian shocked markets by resigning early and suddenly. And today, one of New Zealand's highest regarded business people, Greg Foran, quit as Chief Executive of Air New Zealand. New Zealand Correspondent Jack Nyhof is with me. And Jack, is this all a coincidence, or I smell a bit of politics here?
Well, everyone would love to know those answers. No explanation has been given. As you say, a complete shock, completely unexpected when the news came through yesterday that Adrian the governor of the RBNZ, was stepping down. Both the RBNZ board chair and Finance Minister Nicola Willis have said officially it's personal reasons. Now, there has been some conflict between the RBNZ and the government over funding and policy. Here's what the Finance Minister has had to say.
I think the Chairman of the Reserve Bank Board made it clear yesterday that Adrian Orr's decision to resign was a personal decision.
There's been lots of suggestions that it might be related to the funding agreement negotiation. Was there any friction there? Is there any truth to that?
Well, look, as I explained to my 15-year-old son yesterday when he said, "Mum, why did that guy resign?" I said, look, people resign when they've decided for whatever reason they don't want to do a job anymore. Sometimes there are lots of reasons. So as I've said, I'm not going to try and get inside Adrian Orr's head and explain to you why he decided to resign.
Outgoing RBNZ Governor Adrian Orr had been in the job for around 7 years. He had done a 5-year term and then in 2023 was reappointed by the previous government just before the election, something the opposition at the time, the now government, has taken issue with. Here's the Prime Minister.
That was an appointment under the previous administration. Our issue was about the process of that appointment for a 5-year appointment with an election a year out. That is not what Bill English had done. It was not the normal protocol.
We did get a statement from Adrian Orr. It essentially says the economy is in pretty good shape post-COVID, despite the country being in a triple-dip recession, the worst downturn since the early 1990s. Inflation falling the interest rate falling about 5% in the past year, down to 3.75%, and inflation within the target range at about 2.2%.
Look, and very quickly, I've got to mention Greg Foran, the Chief Executive of Air New Zealand, a former boss of Walmart, the giant supermarket chain in America. Christopher Luxon was the former Chief Executive of Air New Zealand, the Prime Minister who's replaced him. So again, something's up there.
Yeah, exactly. He's expected to leave in October, announcing that resignation today. That's launched a global search for the new CEO. As you say, he previously worked at Walmart as the chief executive for both the US and Asia. He was overlooked as the boss of Woolies over in Australia. So big news. Obviously, the airline industry has been suffering and profits have dropped slightly as well based on engine issues. But that search ongoing now, Ross.
Great stuff. We're going to leave it there. Many thanks for your time, Jack Nyhof.